Well, summer has finally arrived, so now seems like a good time to talk about shark movies. No, not that one. I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. I love Jaws, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. It's just that, well, everybody loves that movie. There's really not much more I can add to it that hasn't been said already. So, let's talk about the other shark movies. And there are a lot of them, aren't there? Wow, there are a lot of shark movies. In a, well, pardon the pun, a sea of underwhelming shark movies, it's hard to find the good ones, but that's where we at Cascadia Dread come in. We've combed the shark-infested waters of the genre to share with you 5 enjoyable shark movies that are not Jaws. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more horror-related content such as short films, creepypastas, genre analyses, and even drink recipes. And with that being said, let's get started. Number 5. 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. I know a lot of people liked the 2017 film 47 Meters Down, but personally, I thought the 2019 sequel was a superior film. While the movie has its flaws, namely some touch-and-go effects, and it does fall victim to some annoying Hollywood tropes, the movie works more often than it doesn't. It's been described as an underwater version of The Descent, as the movie focuses on 2 stepsisters and their friends navigating some underwater ruins off the coast of Mexico, that just so happens to be home to a school of hungry cave-dwelling sharks. It's an imperfect movie for sure, but it works where it needs to, namely thanks to some well-shot underwater cinematography and production design, a better-than-expected story about the 2 sisters finding an emotional bond, plus John Corbett is in it. That's a plus for any movie. Number 4, The Reef. This 2010 Australian horror film, allegedly inspired by a true story, centers around a group of friends fighting for survival after their sailboat capsizes. With land approximately 10 miles away, they attempt to swim their way to safety, but are pursued by a great white shark, or maybe a school of sharks, I'm actually not sure of that. It's a simple story, but effectively told. Not sure I'd put it on any kind of a pedestal, but for those looking for an enjoyable and suspenseful shark movie, it gets the job done. Number 3, Open Water. This 2003 horror thriller is, in many ways, very similar to The Reef, but with a few notable differences. It also involves a few unlucky folks left out at sea in shark-infested waters, in this case a vacationing married couple. The main difference is that Open Water opts for something of a mockumentary style. Out of all the films on this list, I'd say Open Water probably ranks top in terms of tension and suspense, though that might just depend on how scared you are of sharks or the ocean. Still, I gotta give credit to the filmmakers. They opted more for thrills and tense scares instead of bloody shark attacks. Not that I have a problem with bloody shark attacks in movies, but, well, they went for a different approach and stuck to it. I give them credit for that. Not to mention, the 2 main actors, Blanchard Ryan and Daniel Travis, actually did have to swim in the said open water with real sharks. That takes guts.
I don't see it. Are you okay? Are you I don't know.
Number 2, Deep Blue Sea. Alright, is this movie cheesy? Yes. Is it objectively a good movie? Debatable. Is it one we all enjoy watching? Well, your mileage may vary, but considering that this film is 22 years old and we're still talking about it, I'm gonna say yes. Make no mistake, Deep Blue Sea is a big-budget B-movie. That's not a criticism, just an observation. But on those terms, it delivers. Whether you legitimately like it or watch it as a guilty pleasure, it's become a staple of cable viewing and midnight movie parties. It has a few memorable characters, the underwater lab is a great setting, the effects are a bit dated, but the sharks themselves still look awesome from a design point, and if you're looking for creative kills and shark attacks, this movie delivers. I mean, this film has so many memorable and even, dare I say, semi-iconic moments, like LL Cool J as the spiritual cook blowing up one of the sharks, Stellan Skarsgård losing an arm, and, of course, Samuel L. Jackson being eaten mid-monologue.
We're gonna seal off this movie.
Yeah, this movie rocks. And number 1, The Shallows. This one surprised a lot of people, myself included. I mean, let's get real. There is no reason to expect a midsummer shark movie starring Blake Lively to be any good, right? But yeah, here we are. The Shallows is a damn good movie. Released in 2016, this horror thriller, directed by Jaume Collet Serra, is a shockingly effective film that balances thrills, scares, and quality storytelling. Blake Lively plays Nancy Adams, a med school student grieving the recent death of her mother. While trying to get away from everything, she goes surfing off an isolated Mexico beach and gets attacked by a great white shark, narrowly escaping death by taking refuge on a small island, quickly being consumed by the incoming tide. There's not a really big mystery as to why The Shallows works. It's basically a textbook case of quality filmmaking. The setup is clearly defined, the situation offers multiple suspenseful, intense scenarios, and the lead character has a solid arc with a satisfying payoff. And Blake Lively is damn good in the movie, too. Not an easy feat considering she spends most of the movie by herself, or talking to a seagull. If you're one of the many people that hasn't seen The Shallows yet, I recommend it. So there you have it, 5 recommended shark movies that aren't Jaws. If you haven't seen them, give them a watch. Or just watch Jaws again, because that movie is a masterpiece. What are some of your favorite shark movies? Leave them in the comments and be sure to subscribe to Cascadia Dread for more horror-related content. See you next time.